Hello everyone, this is Final Lugia Guardian. Today I just wanted to make a short video regarding the claim, or at least as the claim sounded in my previous video, that the Canon Rebel XT was pretty much worthless to have. That's not entirely true. The Canon Rebel XT actually does shoot good photos, and it still does even now. Heck, for nostalgia's sake, sometime I even just take the thing out myself and still shoot with it, despite the fact that it only has 8 megapixels, despite the fact that it only has an APS-C size sensor, despite the fact that it doesn't shoot video. There's nothing wrong, there is nothing wrong with the Canon Rebel XT. If you already have it, it's a great photo. As a matter of fact, I'd like to show you some of the photos that I took when I was on vacation in Hawaii back in the year 2007 with this same camera that you saw featured in my most recent Canon comparison video. So without further ado, let's get started on this slideshow. Okay, what you're seeing right now is pictures of Hawaii from 2007. This is the island of Maui, where we were staying at. What you're seeing now is a picture of a cruise ship sailing into the sunset. And I took this also with the Canon Rebel. Here's another shot from a wider angle, and I think it's pretty good as well. The sun is going down, and here we have an even later sunset. I just love this contrast on this photo right here. Just absolutely awesome. Here is a wide-angle shot of a building in Maui. This is, I forget the name of those cliffs. Here's just a shot of a beach umbrella, and this was just me shooting at random. And here is a closer shot of that same beach umbrella. I think it's also a pretty good shot. The wind was blowing like something. And then this guy, for whatever reason, got in the way of my shot, so I was like, forget it, he'll just be in the shot. And here we have a picture of some palm trees with the sun giving a little bit of a glare effect. The contrast is pretty good on this photo. Here we have an old canoe, an old Hawaiian canoe, and I think it's a pretty good photo, pretty sharp. Here we have some goldfish, and I think this is a fairly good photo. I took a lot of pictures of these goldfish here. These things are freaking huge. Actually, I'm not sure if these are goldfish. I know they're some sort of a species of carp. But they just sort of swim around in their pools all day. And they're good to look at by the audience. Or the guests, rather. And you can see I took some pretty good photos here. I had the aperture stopped down, so I was able to get some pretty sharp photos, and with a relatively high shutter speed. All of these photos were taken at over 1/200th of a second. I think I had the camera in shutter priority mode when I was doing this. This is another picture of a canoe. Here is a picture of just the path leading towards the beach. And it's a pretty good photo, pretty sharp, low aperture. Here we have some more palm trees. Once again, I had the aperture stopped down quite a bit to a relatively high f-stop number. And here I have a picture of just more of the water. This is a fairly good photo from what I can tell. Here is just some more photos of the water. I think this is actually a pool, and there's a waterfall there. Here's another picture of that same waterfall arrangement. I think these are pretty good photos because I had the aperture stopped down pretty good. And here's another, just an entrance to that pool, I think. And once again, pretty high shutter speed, low aperture, very sharp. Once again, here's a closer photo of my Canon Rebel XT shooting that same pool, pretty sharp. Here we have just a street corner on our way to our next destination. I think we're going to the helicopter place to take a helicopter air tour. Either that or to the resort to... Oh yeah, here's another Hawaiian street shot. Oh yeah, this is where we're going to. This is actually the resort where we were going to see a traditional Hawaiian show at. There's just an aerial view of the seats. Here's a wider shot of the same area. Once again, zoomed out farther. Pretty good photo. And here's just another one of those shots. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. Pretty sharp, relatively low aperture. And here we have another just shot from above of, I forget where in the spot this was. Here we have a picture of a sailboat. I just thought it looked kind of interesting. A little bit overexposed on this thing. If I would have been shooting in RAW, I would have corrected that. And here's another photo of those chairs again. Ultimately, we go down and we sit at them, and I can get some photos from the chairs just of the show. I don't take a whole lot of photos there because most of the show was in low light. Here's some tikis. It's just a closer shot of the chairs as well from down on the ground. And here we have the refreshment stand. I must say, from experiencing that actually was some pretty good drink there. Here's the chairs again, just a closer shot, and a closer shot of the stage. Once again, low aperture, very sharp. Here's just another of the same shot, low aperture, very sharp, moderate focal length. Here we have just another shot of the beach. We have some people walking down the beach, and a little bit overexposed in the sky. Here is another, I don't know what I was thinking when I shot this photo. I was shooting a lot of photos that day. Here we have a picture of a hammock. I don't know why I thought this was interesting, but for whatever reason, I thought it was interesting back in 2007. Here we have a picture of a bird up in the tree. Unfortunately, the bird was sort of ducked down a bit, a little bit camera shy. And here's the bird with his head up. Once again, this is a pretty good photo, pretty sharp. A little bit blurry around the edges though. Once again, here's another shot of the chairs. This is the premium seat section. Unfortunately, we did not have premium seats. Here's the refreshment stand. Well, not refreshment stand, but the plate stand. This is where people went to get their plates for when they finally brought out the hog. And once again, another shot of the same stand. Pretty good shot, pretty sharp, low aperture. Once again, high shutter speed. Here we have the wind start to pick up. Pretty sharp. I didn't compose this shot very well, to be perfectly honest. Here's another shot. This I think is okay. Wind's picked up pretty good, but I cut the top off of it. Here we have a band playing. This is early in the show, and one of the few places I was able to get the exposure right because of a lot of light. Here we have the host. I forget what his name was, but he was a very good host. And, oh yeah, here he's alerting us to some guy up in a tree. He's pointing at the guy. And if you'll just scroll over, yeah, there we go. There's the guy up in the tree. He said it was his first time doing this. Well, not the first time. He'd been doing that for 3 weeks. Here's another shot of the guy who'd been climbing trees for a whole 3 weeks, so he's experienced, at least according to our host. And here's the same tree climber cutting up the coconut he got down from that tree. And pretty sharp, if I do say so myself. Once again, another shot of the same guy. This was a little bit underexposed, but once again, pretty good. And of course, this is a pretty good show. Here we have some, I forget what these things are called, that this girl is spinning these things around. Here we have another one of the staff who was putting on the show. Here he has with his conch shell. And of course, here is a picture of the hog that we ultimately ate. Once again, this thing was really delicious. Oh, and here they are taking it, picking it up. And in a second, there'll be a picture of them holding it. And there it is. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good shot. There's a couple of the staff holding it, along with another one of the staff with the conch shell. And here we have later in the day, the torches are starting to be lit up. And I just wanted to get a photo of those that day. Here's another photo. I think this photo is a little bit more correctly exposed, and I like this photo of the torches a little bit more. And here's a third photo using the rule of thirds for these torches. Once again, this camera is doing really good in low light for the time. And here's a picture of the luau's show. This is the first of the hula dancers they had. Here is the second group of dancers that they had. Once again, these guys were all pretty good, pretty high contrast. And the lighting was pretty good, so I was able to get I think about 1/50th of a second is what these photos were taken at. So I was able to get some decent sharpness. I was zoomed out pretty far though, so fortunately not a lot of camera shake showed up. And here's the next day where we went on a helicopter tour. Here is a picture of the road of a truck driving down the roads of Hawaii. And here is another picture of the roads of Hawaii. These are just some farmers tending their crops. Once again, this is taken out of a helicopter, not a drone. Here we have another shot from the helicopter. There's a little bit of glare from the window in this shot, which I don't like, but what are you going to do? Here we have another picture taken from that helicopter. Once again, pretty good with the Canon Rebel XT. Here we have another shot taken from the helicopter. A little bit of clouds, good contrast though. Once again, this is a relatively high shutter speed, so I was able to get pretty good pictures. These were taken at about 1/200th of a second, or around there. Once again, this was in shutter priority mode, so the camera automatically stopped down the aperture to give me sharp focus all around the image. And here we have a picture of a waterfall. Now this was a very beautiful sight, and this is one of the favorite photos I ever took in Hawaii of that huge waterfall. I think it actually has a name. If any of you know what the name of this waterfall is, please let me know in the comments. And this is just another photo of that same waterfall. I took a lot of photos of that because our helicopter spent a little bit of time there. Once again, this is taken with around a shutter speed of 1/200th of a second or somewhere around that in shutter priority mode. Here we have another photo of it. For whatever reason, I don't know why the why this camera is not flipping the photos on some of them. Once again, here's a photo of the river that waterfall is close to. Here's just another photo of that river. Once again, I have a little bit of glare on the screen thanks to the window, but close enough. There's a little bit of glare I can see on this one, but once again, the Rebel handled it pretty good. Here we have another photo of the same river. It's pretty good, sharp, and harsh shutter speed, so not a lot of blurring. Here we have another photo of that river. This is actually one of the favorite photos I had of the river, but unfortunately there's just a little bit of glare on the left-hand side. Here's a little bit of glare on the windshield from this photo too, but other than that, I think it's a pretty good photo as well. Overall, that helicopter trip was great. Here we have a super ferry. We're driving past that, so I just snapped that pretty quick. 1/200th of a second. Here we have just out of the street, once again, 1/200th of a second. Unfortunately, I blurred this one a little bit, so it's not the favorite, but it's okay. Here we have a picture of the USS Missouri, taken from the Uss Arizona Memorial. And here we have an anchor at the Pearl Harbor Memorial. I think it's a pretty good photo. I cut off the top of the anchor a bit in this one. Here is a 3/4 view of that anchor. Once again, really sharp, good contrast, overall good photo. Here we have a U.S. Navy rocket at least I think it's a rocket, at the Pearl Harbor Museum. Here's just another photo of that rocket. Once again, this is a little bit sharper, and I like this photo a little bit better. And here we have a torpedo. I'm not sure if this is a Kai-10 torpedo that they have on display. I think this is just a regular torpedo. And yeah, just good photo overall. And here it is from another angle. Sorry, this is a different torpedo actually. Once again, sharp focus. Everything is in focus. Here is just a picture of that Navy rocket thing from another angle. Once again, sharp overall. And here is a photo of the American flag, which I thought would be fitting to end on. Once again, thank you all for watching, and if you have the Canon Rebel XT, don't let it discourage you. Go out, shoot great photos, everything will be great. Well, that completes my slideshow. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a great day. Until next time, peace.